So in this video, we're going to talk about navigation menus. So before starting, many of you might have questioned that what is a navigation menu? So let me just give you a quick example. Let's open up Chrome, and here let me just type out Microsoft. I'm just opening this to give you an example of what navigation menu actually is. So here on the top, you can see that they have the logo. They have all of these links. If you click on any of these links, it will take you to a different web page. Okay, so this is what basically a navigation menu is. It navigates you through the website. Okay, sometimes you might see that when you click on this, it takes you to a different web page. But sometimes what happened is when you click on any of this link, it will take you to some place below. It will take you to the same page. We saw in previous videos, we saw in page linking. So we can also add that links to our navigation menu. Okay, so this is what we're going to learn in this video. So let's open up Atom. And here I have written this boilerplate HTML code. I linked my style sheet. Okay, I linked my style sheet here. Now the first thing that we have to do to create a navigation menu is we use a special tag called as the nav tag. It goes something like this, nav, and then we have a closing nav tag. All right. Now inside this nav tag, we have to add links. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is add an UL, unordered list. Here, then we'll add li, and now we want this li to be clickable. We want it to be a link. So we learned to use a link tag. We use this tag called as anchor tag. We'll leave the href empty for now, and here I'll just write home. Okay, so once I click on this link, I want it to take me to the home page, and I'll add two more. Here I'll call it about, and let's call it contact. Okay, these are the three sections on my web page. Suppose now one thing I'll do is I'll just add this outside of nav so I can tell you the difference. Okay, now I have this two unordered list with the three links. Now one unordered list I have inside this nav tag, and the other I have outside this nav tag. So let's start styling. Now the first thing that I want to do is remove this bullet points. So how can I do that? Again, it's pretty simple. We saw in the previous video. We can write ul, and then we'll write list style type, and we'll just call it none. Now there's one thing before saving and before you can actually see the change that I want you guys to know. Once I save this, you see that we have two ul, right? We have one inside and we have outside. Now outside this nav tag, I don't want this bullet points to be gone. Suppose I want these bullet types here. I want these bullets, but here I don't want this. I don't want this disk. I want them gone. But if I use this selector ul and I save it, you can see that both the bullets are gone. Both these disks are gone. There is no unordered list anymore. Why did this happen? Because in selector we specified ul. We did not specify anything other than ul. So once our page renders, it'll see ul here, and then it'll also detect an ul here, so it will remove the bullet points. So what do we do? How do we tell the browser that we have to remove only this ul? So what you can do is in selectors, you can write nav, then you'll hit space and then ul, and then save it. Now you can see that only these disks are gone and these are still there. So what does this mean? Nav space ul. So it tells the browser that you have to look for a navigation tab, and then after that navigation tag, look for the children, look for its child, that is ul. So this becomes a parent tag, and then this becomes a children tag. Okay, this is his child. So it looks for navigation tag, and then it looks for ul inside this navigation tag. Okay, and then this ul remains as it is because we did not apply any changes to it. Now the next thing that I want to do is remove these underlines. I don't like them. So what I'll do is, now you know that as this is a link, okay, so the underline property is associated with this anchor tag. So what I'll do is I'll write a, and here I'll write text decoration. I want no decoration, and I'll save it. Now again the same thing happened. Both of these had a in them. Okay, you can see that we have a here, then we also have 3 times it here, and then 3 times here. Again we want to specify the same thing, that again we have to go inside nav tag and then look for a tag and let it be the same. Okay, now the links are gone. Now I want a different color. I don't like this blue color. So what I'll do is, so to remove this color, what I'll do is I'll use this something called as, now the first thing before removing color, what we'll do is, now you can see that these links are one after the other. They are occupying the whole width of the page. But in Microsoft site, we saw that they were one after the other. So how can we do that? So we saw the display property which we can use. There's a display property that we can use, and we'll add it in the li section, because these are the lists item inside our ul, and here we'll add a property called as display, and we'll set it to inline. Okay, what this does is it will take all the items next to each other. If we remove this, or instead of inline, if I add block here and I'll save it, again you can see that it comes back to its original form. And even if I remove this, if I delete this, I'll just cut it out, you can see that there's no change, because this is a default property. But I don't want it to be block, I want it to be inline, I want it next to each other. So now they are next to each other, right? Now the next thing we'll do is we'll add colors to it. Now to add color, again these are links, so we have to add colors to the link. Now we saw pseudo classes, right? So what we can do is nav a and then link, or here also we can add color. Let's see if it works here. We'll call it let's set black color, and I'll save it. Now you can see that the color has changed. You can also do it here directly in nav a, or you can also do the same thing in nav a and pseudo class link. There's no change. Even if I remove this and I'll save it, you can see that black color is still there. Okay, but I prefer that you should write it inside this nav and a tag. Okay, and I'll save it. Now the next thing we want to do is let's set up background color here. Let's set red color as a background here. So what I'll do is I'll set this property called as background color, and I'll call it red, and I'll save it. Now you can see that there's as much as the size of this block is, as much as the size the content takes, red color has appeared up here. Okay, now what I want to do is I'll just delete this. What I want to do is once I go on this, you can see that here this pointer is normal, but as soon as I go on this cursor changes. It tells me that this is clickable, but I also want a visual representation more than this cursor. So what I can do is once I go on this, I want its color to change. Okay, so this property is called as hover. Once I hover over this, I want this color to change from red to blue, this background color. So what I can do is, again I'll write a nav, then I'll use a pseudo class, and then I'll write hover, and inside this property I'll write background color to be blue. Okay, now I've saved this. Let's see if it works. I'll go over this. You can see that this color has changed now, background color. What if I want to change the color once I hover over this? This text color is black. What if I want it to be white? I can also do that. I'll just write color, and I'll write the color to be white. Okay, and I'll save it. Now once I hover over this, two things will change. First the background color, and second the text color. Now you can see that it is white and it is blue. Okay, and if you want distance between them, what you can do is just go to nav ul, or even you can do it in li. Let's add margin and padding. Let's add a margin, let's add a margin of 10 px here. We'll save it. You can see that space has been added. If you want a padding, what padding does is it adds inside this box, it will add space from all the sides. So let's see, we'll add 10 px of margin padding. Okay, so padding has been added. We can also add this padding to ul elements. So I'll just cut it out, or we can add it to link. Let's see what happens if we add it to link. Now you can see that this box has grown. Now it is more visible. So you can just pause the video at any time you like. You can just play around with this, because until you play around with it, you'll not understand what it really is. And this is just it for this video. We are going to play around with links or navigation menu in the next couple of videos. But for navigation menu, that was it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.